ihr Lieben und herzlich willkommen zu diesem neuen Video. Falls du mich noch nicht kennst, ich bin Vanessa, ich bin Kunsttherapeutin und ich teile hier Self-Care-Art für zu Hause und kunsttherapeutische Impulse. Ich freue mich so sehr auf das, was jetzt gleich kommt. Ich bin total aufgeregt. Das ist jetzt schon ein paar Tage her, das Gespräch. Ich spreche dieses Intro hier gerade, nachdem wir dieses Interview geführt haben, ein und ich freue mich so sehr, mit dir zu teilen. Für den einen oder anderen mag dieses Thema jetzt vielleicht erstmal befremdlich klingen. Ich habe nämlich Jasmine Alicia interviewt. Sie ist eine Influencerin aus Spanien, eine Künstlerin, eine Frau, die Kunst studiert hat und ihr künstlerisches Medium, das womit sie malt, ist ihr Periodenblut. Und zwar macht sie das nicht einfach so, um zu provozieren, um irgendwas ganz Ungewöhnliches zu machen, sondern sie hat eine sehr tiefe Erfahrung. Sie ist ein sehr spiritueller Mensch, sie hat eine sehr tiefe Erfahrung gemacht mit diesem Blut und hat diese Praxis, diese Art von Kunst auch sehr, sehr intensiv und tief dafür genutzt, ihre eigene Weiblichkeit zu heilen, ihre Verbindung mit ihrem Körper zu heilen und auch ihren Zyklus zu heilen, also wieder in Balance zu bringen und auch die Berührungsängste zu ihrem Körper loszulassen. Und einerseits, sie hat mehrere Fliegen mit einer Klappe geschlagen eigentlich, also sie hat einerseits ihr künstlerisches Medium und ihren persönlichen künstlerischen Ausdruck gefunden, das, worin sie aufgeht, das, wovon sie gar nicht genug kriegen kann, das, was sie als Künstlerin antreibt. Das war nämlich vorher nicht so. Und sie hat etwas gefunden, womit sie ihre Weiblichkeit in der Tiefe berühren kann, wo sie sich selber in der Tiefe berühren und verstehen kann und wo sie wirklich in eine Heilung, kann man so sagen, mit sich selber gehen konnte als Frau. Wir werden in dem Interview auch darüber sprechen, wie es ist mit Frauen, die nicht bluten. Es gibt ja auch Frauen, die nicht als Frauen geboren wurden zum Beispiel, aber es gibt auch Frauen, die Zyklusstörungen haben und dadurch keine Periode haben. Wir sprechen sehr über die seelisch-psychische Komponente dahinter und darüber, wie auch ein Zyklus wieder in Balance kommen kann, wenn man Ja sagt zur Blutung. Wir sprechen über den spirituellen Aspekt, wir sprechen darüber, wie sehr es eine heilige Praxis für Jasmine ist und über ganz viele andere Sachen. Es ist ein sehr inspirierendes, wundervolles Gespräch, voller Fülle und ja, sei einfach gespannt. Es lohnt sich dran zu bleiben. Bevor wir starten, möchte ich dich noch darauf hinweisen, weil es thematisch so super gut passt, dass am 27. Februar zum Beispiel zu dem Workshop Kunst und Sinnlichkeit, den ich mit einer Tantra-Expertin geben werde, wo es genau um diese Themen geht. Wir werden zwar nicht mit Periodenblut malen, aber wir werden ganz viele Themen anschneiden, um die es hier auch gleich in dem Interview mit Jasmine geht. Übrigens, das Interview mit Jasmine ist auf Englisch. Es wird aber Untertitel geben. Jetzt starten wir aber und ich freue mich, gleich mit dem Gespräch loslegen zu können. Sie wird gleich hier sein. It's so good to see you, Jasmine. So cool to have you here. I'm looking so much forward to talk to you about all your art and everything you do for women and about everything. Hi.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much. It's such a privilege every time someone invites me to their sacred space and just wants to hold these conversations. To me, it's always revolutionary and nourishing for the soul. Like always having these conversations is so nourishing for me. And I think we all need it so much. So thank you for this opportunity because it's so beautiful.
We just talked a bit before I clicked the record button, and you said most people find you through your period art. That's what you do. The main thing, you paint with your period, with your menstrual blood. Why do you think is this so interesting to everyone?
Well, it's more than interesting, it's quite shocking for the vast majority of people. It's just like, you do what? And I said, yeah, and I do it actually for a living, like they were like, what? How is that?
So people buy your blood, your menstrual blood?
I do not sell the originals. I sell the prints because there's so much to say about period blood, but something so organic and something so intimate of me. It's very difficult for me to just give it away in such a sense for an exchange. It would be more as a gift I could do, but I just prefer to sell the prints in a sense.
I think a lot of artists feel the same way when they painted acrylic paints. But I understand that this is much more deeper.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about period blood. Period blood, of course, it's the element that shocks most people is because it's taboo. It's still considered to be today, 2022, period is still considered to be the biggest taboo. in the world, you can say. If you go in India, still today, sex is even more tolerable than period blood. And it's so incredible to just go into period blood and understand, like, why is it seen so bad? Why does it have such a bad rap? What is period blood actually? And so I've done.
What is it for you?
For me, I've been involved into period art since 2016. So quite some years have passed by. And for me, period blood is life. Because if we look, we're both mothers. If we didn't have our periods, we couldn't have a child. We come from that. What is being removed from our wombs as period is actually the same exact nutrients that feed our babies for the whole 9 months in our bellies. So that is big stuff.
So did you start when you had your first baby? Did that change something for you, or was that even before?
No, it was before. In 2016, it was way before. Not too long before, but it was way before. And it was beautiful to do this process before having a baby, because I remember I was having very depleting, very painful periods. And after doing a lot of womb work and period art and transforming my pain and going to the root causes of my pain and not feeling pain anymore in my periods, that is the moment in which my son actually manifested. So he came in when my womb was already in the process of deep healing. So this was so meaningful for me in so many ways.
So you hadn't had any pain anymore after starting this, after connecting to your body, after starting to paint with your blood, after feeling it, after smelling it. How does it feel? How does it feel painting with your period blood?
So in my experience, I will just focus on me, because working with so many women and seeing so many different experiences, you will hear so many different stories. But in my experience, when I painted, literally the pain was transformed. Like, it was transformed. I would not feel pain in the moment I was painting. Then when I was removed from painting, it would start to come back. So it was just like painting or just actively being with my period was putting me in a state in which my nervous system was calming down and the cramps would just lessen. But then the cramps, I noticed while I was doing this work, they contain messages of why I was feeling pain. Why I was feeling pain, because I was disconnected from my womb. I was having the wrong choices with my partners. I was eating bad. I was doing a series of routines that were affecting the health of my body. And my cramps were telling me that. So this is so fascinating.
How did the process started for you? How did you initially started to think about painting with that blood?
Yeah. So generally, I've always been a very artistic person in my life. Since I was very, very young, I was always drawing, always be drawing, always be drawing. Art was my passion. It was my vehicle of self-expression. It was so important to me in all the forms of art. So like dancing, singing, painting, all of the things. They were just and I did art school, art academy. I've done all the things. But it was like I was also restless. Like every single art form I would always come to wouldn't really be the thing that I was like, yes, this is the thing. Yes, this is the one. But then I had an experience with a plant ceremony. I went into this plant experience with ayahuasca. I don't know if you know about ayahuasca. It was during ayahuasca, I was having my period, my first day. And then I went through this beautiful process in which I was really deep immersed into the embodiment of period, what happens during the period phase. And then it so happened that I went to the bathroom and I saw my pad, I saw the blood, and I looked at it for the first time. And I was just so amazed.
After that experience. So yeah. Ayahuasca is the process where you can experience how it would feel to die, right?
They call it that way. Sometimes, like in the Amazon rainforest, they call it as a pequeña muerte, like a small death experience. But this is because we have a release of DMT, which is at the base of the pineal gland, right? We have DMT that is released the moment we are born, the moment in which we are sleeping or dreaming, and the moment we die. So these are the three moments in which this is happening.
This is just connection to the universe, to a space we are from, where we go even when we sleep. Yes.
Yes, perfectly. So I was in that state you just described, while I was on my period. So it just like felt like it lifted the veil of what is actually the period phase. And I just saw this really deep death phase, which was beautiful. We always condemn death as something so scary and something to refrain from and not speak of, but it's actually so powerful and needed in order to rebirth, in order to live fully the life.
Every period is a little death. It's death, right? When something is born, it's also death.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So this was the energy that was behind it. And when I saw the blood on my pad, like this blood represents this. And I'm like, wow, this is so sacred. This is the first time I literally felt the word sacred coming through me. And I was like, I cannot throw it in the toilet anymore. Like I can't do it. I just can't throw it in the trash can. I have to do something with it. And that's when I just felt, obviously, I need to paint with it. And everything was born.
Wow. It's so funny because I think 2017 was the first time someone told me about period art. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so crazy. I don't want to hear more about this. Yeah.
It's so true. That's the reaction that I usually get from a lot of people who, like, I was that as well. Like, I didn't want to know about my period, but there was a link missing. There was why is this happening? Why such a natural part of our bodies is seen as something so disgusting when, again, it's something that births life. And without it, we cannot be here. We can't be experiencing this life. It's so important, right?
It's so important to understand for people. I think so too. I scrolled through your Instagram feed and I just saw that you were featured in a big magazine in France, but you were compared to artists that peed on their paintings or put their shit in cans. Right? That's what people think it is. Maybe they think it's the same thing, but it's not.
Yes, it's different. I also, again, I come from an art background, so I've studied those people. It was actually kind of an honor also to be put together with such big names.
But it's a big different message. It's another message. It's like I'm an artist. I'm successful, and that's why you buy even my shit. Yeah, it's a different message. Yes.
It's true. It's true. It's true. In a sense, like if they were in a state in which they said, this is my shit, but I see it as sacred, which by all means, there are traditions in India where everything of the body is considered sacred. If you want to look at it, the feces that come out of the body are also that, like, they come out from an intricate, beautiful orchestra of dancing of organs of our bodies that create that. Our bodies are sacred. Why does anything that comes out of our body not considered to be sacred in a sense? But it's not that you would use all of your body parts to do specific things. Secretions are used as fertilizer because they create new life, So like, it's always how you see things, how you want to perceive them. Perception is everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you studied it's so funny how it's pronounced in English. I don't want to say it like this. Sigmund Freud. Yes, how a bad impact it can have when you teach your kid that something that comes out of it is disgusting. It has a big impact on your whole life.
This is so important. This is so important. I'm paying extra mindful attention with my son of how I describe certain things. And you can see when you speak to them how conditioned we are. We're so used to saying, oh, poo-poo, poo-poo, no, yuck, blah. Why would you want to do that? Like it's poop. You use it, to fertilize, you just dump it, but you can explain things from a meaningful perspective. We're so tired of superficial things. We want the real stuff. We want the magic. We're women. We have so much magic in ourselves and our bodies. Like, we can tap into that. And we can, through our bodies as well, and learning about all the things that happen in them and just being curious as a child. Like, why do these things happen? Instead of just saying, oh my God, that's period blood. No. Where does that come from? Is it really you? Like, inquire. This is my invitation, you know?
Yeah. Maybe this comes from people who didn't want to see women in their whole power.
Indeed. Very powerful. Yes. Yes.
So this is much healing for you. This is a lot of healing, a healing journey, and you invite other women to heal as well. Maybe when we say woman, we speak about people who bleed.
Yes.
But maybe there are also women, biological women, who don't bleed. Maybe there's an invitation to get a new connection and maybe start bleeding again as well.
Yes, absolutely. Also, a big part of my work is also helping women or womb keepers, okay? Because we all have a woman inside of us. We all have a man inside of us. They're just energies, okay? So like this, of the womb keepers is to know themselves so deeply and being so in tune with their bodies that they know exactly what is happening. Like, why is your period missing? Why are you having polycystic ovarian syndrome? Why are you having endometriosis? Why certain imbalances are manifesting in your life? Check your routine, check your life, check how are you living your life choices. This is all womb work. It's so fundamentally important. So even if there are people who are not bleeding, but they wish to connect with their womb certain ways, I always say it's the energy you need to tap into. It's not that you need the blood. Use berry juice, use wine.
Yes. I saw something like that, and it was so cool to see. It was so touching. But when they're for example, trans women who want to experience how it would be to bleed or how it is, they use what did you say? Cranberry juice or something?
Cranberry juice, berry juice. You can use wine. Yeah. And if you feel comfortable enough and you have a sister or someone who you really, really feel intimate with, you can ask them to borrow their blood. I've seen this happen so many times. Like when I was pregnant of my son and I didn't have my period, and I was like, ah! It was shocking.
And I understand this. I'm at the point now where I totally understand this. I was so happy. I was about to throw a party for my first blood after birth. Yes.
Beautiful. The celebration. But yes, when I was with no period at that time, I would ask a friend, like, I really would love to tap into the womb wisdom. Can you please offer me your blood? And also my mother gave it to me. So you can also draw blood from other sisters and you're always tapping into that energy. So there's so many ways you can do this. It's for everyone.
What would you say to a person who listens now and who thinks, oh my God, I would never ask that my mother. She didn't even teach me about my own period. What would you say?
So my mom also is one of those people. She didn't teach me anything. When I first had my period, she was very cold, very detached. She gave me a pad and said, welcome, you are a woman, with like this very sad frown, like, oh my gosh, why do we have to be women in this life? So this was the energy I was brought into having a period, you know? So the act of asking period to my mother, it was fun because she also has a very negative relationship with her period. She despises it. But I said, Mom, just give it to me. I just said, here's the cup, just give it to me. And it was because I am so sure, I am so confident because I've been doing this work so much in my life that I know the effects that it has, that asking blood from my mother was an act of healing my lineage. You know? So like it has to come from a space of, I am so confident that this works, that it actually works. Okay, because if I was like, oh, but yeah, I still don't feel it perfectly embodied in myself, I wouldn't have the courage to ask my mother of her period blood. I wouldn't have the courage and confidence to ask people around me to feel confident in seeing me painting with my period blood. But I had to, when I first started painting, my ex-boyfriend at the time, he was, what are you doing? And then we left each other because I said, if you love me, you have to love everything about me.
Yeah, men are sometimes really crazy about this topic. I lived when I studied, I lived with 2 men, and there was one older man and one was 19 or something, I don't know, but he was we sat on the table and he was very like why don't you put your pads and tampons into bags before you throw it in the trash can? I don't want to smell it, I don't want to see it, why do you do that? I want you to change it. And it was I don't know, I didn't know how to deal with that at that point. Why do you think it's maybe I know the answer myself, but why do you think is that so? So I think it's a healing process for us women. When we heal, it's also easier for men. But what do you think? What do you feel about that?
Yes, I love that you say little things, but they're so they're so straight to the point. It's so true. When we heal, everyone heals. Like, this is so true. The more I dived into my own process of healing, the more I created a ripple effect around me, and the people in my life would adapt to this new version of me, which is what was more confident, more serene, more at peace, more balanced, more in love, more in joy and gratitude, because I finally found that missing parts of me finally were reclaimed. You know, so like when you have that, when you know that you have a place in the world, when you finally find home in yourself, you don't need to look for anything else outside. And you're at peace, and that balance will radiate everywhere. That is the magnetism of the feminine. When I started to work with myself and fill those gaps, fill that void that I thought was separating from myself, the more I work with that, the more life just gave me everything. It brought me the man of my dreams, brought me the perfect son, brought me the incredible business that I created, the most incredible community of women, just by being me. And valuing this work.
And there are this was not just one thing that you found. You found your art, your expression, your art you wanted to bring to the world, but you also connected through that art with your body and with your feminine, with your menstrual blood, and with your yoni, with your sexuality, and with your being as a woman. So that is extra powerful, I think.
Yes, because the thing is that you start with one thing. It was just a door. It was a passage, a rite of passage. Period painting with me was just a rite of passage. I opened a door and I just found out so many things. And I was just like, whoa, what did I miss? And I just remember, like, the womb. We've got the period. The period is sacred. Why? Because it comes from the womb. Why is the vagina sacred? Because it's a passageway where spirit comes to form. How does this happen? We have the womb and we have the ovaries, and there's so much meaning that surrounds every single organ of our reproductive system. And it makes us so freaking powerful, so freaking spiritual. And I understand now why in the matriarchs, in the cultures in India, you can just go back and thousands of years, there were temples dedicated only to the woman, because she was the divine. She was the portal that would bring any student or disciple to the divine, because her body could make her go there.
I think that goes much further, like when we started to be human. You can find very, very old pieces of art with holy figures of women, of pregnant women as well.
Yes, pregnant, very fertile, very round, voluptuous woman, you know, very different from the modern depiction of the woman, who is very, very like skinny, not eating at all, doesn't have any body fat, which really influences a lot the hormones of the woman. And many women today have issues with their periods because they don't have enough body fat.
Don't have enough body. They don't have enough body, and it's a kind of denying your feminine and yourself. I think so. How would you can you give an advice for someone who wants to start, who's feeling right now a little disgusted by that topic, or feels like the blood smells bad, or even doesn't want to touch her own yoni, is not connected to their sexualities? What would you say to these people?
beautiful question. So the path of healing is slow. Slow means give yourself time and give yourself all the space, because you need safety. In order to heal, we need safety. And in order to create safety, we need to create a space we can call our sacred space. It can be in the living room, it could be in our room, it could be in the bedroom, it could be a little angle that you create for yourself where you dedicate to your womanhood. This is the first thing. And it has to be beautiful space. Bring some incense, bring some candles, bring some flowers, bring anything that really connects you to the goddess energy, because that is what makes you feel safe. That is what relaxes your nervous system and makes you feel already in a state of receptive. Okay. And then when you're ready to do that, the first step, if you want to do period art, for example, is to connect with your blood. And it doesn't mean, I don't expect that women, all the people in the world, leaders or whatever, just get so obsessed with period as I do. I don't expect that. But what I do wish and desire and pray for every woman in this world is to really know that their period has a lot of meaning and a sense of health. It's so important for a person who bleeds just to know, look at the consistency, at the texture, the smell of the period, because it tells exact signals of your health. This is so important. Now it's been recognized at science as the fifth vital organ, fifth vital sign. So through your period blood, you can actually see how your body is. How revolutionary is that? So you can get past all of that if you know it is for your health. This is like so important. But then again, take your time. Use a menstrual cup. This is the first advice that I give. Instead of using pads that absorb the blood and then they're all sticky and gooey on side of the pad, and of course you don't like to see it and you want to throw it away, right? If you see it in the cup, it's different. In a menstrual cup, it's made of silicone, completely body safe. You can see the blood for what it is. It's slightly metallic in odor. If it is odor, it has a strong odor, you might want to be checked by someone because there'll probably be an infection, but usually healthy period blood has no odor. It's very metallic, very, very soft. And the consistency, you want to check it out. Just look at it. How is it? What is the color? What is the texture? Just take a look at it. Be curious about it. And that is the first thing you can do. You can just look at it and say, okay, I've done enough for today. Let's try again the next time and see how you can push yourself even more. And then you can offer your blood to the plants. That is such a beautiful practice to do. Really connects you immediately to the sense of the divine mother that is within you, giving back to the plants. Period blood is an incredible fertilizer. My plants explode when I give my blood to them. They're just like...
I can imagine that.
So beautiful. You just dilute it with water and you give it to the plants. Just give an offering, like a beautiful offering. And you will see your plants explode. How incredible is that? We have that power. So there's a small...
That's so beautiful. No, I fully understand these paintings. Some women paint where plants are growing out of vaginas. yes, I understand that now.
Oh, yeah. We're the life givers. We live on Mother Earth, and Mother Earth created us, and we have Mother Earth within us, and it's an endless loop. We have that. We embody that. That is so sacred. It's like, what world would we live in if every woman reminded herself of this and walked in this world and acted and spoke, knowing the divinity that is inside of her? How different this world would be. How different. How loving and caring and beautiful. Like I'm already crying. I get so vulnerable because the beauty of the feminine is just so touching. And we need it so much in this world right now. We're longing for it so much.
This goes so deep, because if every woman would be that connected to their bodies, there wouldn't be so much trauma during birth, for example, and that means not so much trauma in the world. Yeah.
You said yes. We can start from the children. Like literally, I do believe, and I have so much studies that back up this, is like our greatest traumas are created at the moment of birth. Because again, women are not supported people who are giving birth are not supported in the way they should be.
They feel unsafe. Yes, they go to hospitals because they think they need that. They need doctors surrounded to be by machines and doctors and medication, but that really makes you feel unsafe. Yes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, we heal when we feel safe. We need to create that sacred space. So,
you need candles, you need a good smell, you need everything you just talked about when you want to get in touch with your body.
Once you get in touch with your inner world, the outer world will mirror it. Because sometimes you say, but do I really need the candles and the incense and the Palo Santo? Do I really need to do all this esoteric stuff to be connected? You don't need to do that. Because if you know who you are, like you can go anywhere and you will know, you will feel safe in your temple and your body. But however, if you really like what is inside is outside. And as women, we mirror that through the seasons that we go through every single month, every single cycle, every year. All the seasons that are outside are within us as well. How we treat our bodies inside is how we will treat ourselves in the external.
It works both ways. I see that as an art therapist. Art therapy is not just about painting what's inside of you, but also using it as a vehicle to maybe feel what you are painting inside. You have beautiful paintings that also can I don't know how to say that, but you already understood.
Absolutely. Yes. Every month we go through so many things. From one period to another period, there are 28, 35 days. We go through so many experiences, so many things that happen, so many cycles, so many things. And the period phase is the moment in which we release what happened during the month. So if we do pay attention and we give ourselves that space to really listen to what happened during the month, we will have signals, we will have messages, we will have breakthroughs and lessons that we learned of the past month. And usually my period art represents what happened throughout that month.
This is so beautiful. No, this is better than any journaling.
Thank you.
Do you have months where you don't feel like painting with your blood because you think maybe there happen so many bad things and you feel like it's stuck in there and you don't want to use it for your art? Or do you transform that energy in your art?
So period art has become legit a spiritual practice for me. Like literally a practice that I go to fortify myself, to fortify my connection to myself and the divine and all the things and the woman and all the things. So it's hard that I go a period without painting. It's hard that it happens. But when it does happen, I make sure to save the blood. I make sure to journal about what came through me that month, or like pinpoint images or symbolisms that have meaning to me for that period. And then I just store it. I store the blood in the freezer. So then when I have time, I would come back to it and I would draw.
Okay.
This is something this is my personal journey. Of course, it's so different from everyone, but like I'm the one, when people come to me, they're like, you're the one who draws with her period blood. Like I am the one, I am the person who does that. So it became my identity. It's become what I stand for. It became a practice where I come through over and over and over again. It makes me more powerful every time that I do it. So it's difficult for me to just like let it go,
Yeah, and you're inspiring already so many women. You started this movement. There's also an Instagram account. I forgot the name. Menstrual Art Movement. Yes.
Very simple name. Yes, it's incredible because again, what started just as a journey of self-healing, as you said, just a passion in the beginning, it started to become something that women actually started to look up to. They're like, wow, this is incredible. I want to do it for myself. Wow, this is incredible. Oh, I did this I have every single day, multiple women that come to me as like, this is my first period painting. Thank you so much. I feel like at home, like every single day. There's so many people who come to me and that did their artwork. And it's so remarkable to see how this movement has created just by walking, just by being who I am and just sharing my story. So I just
and healing, through your healing process and sharing it.
Yes.
At the right point.
Incredible. It's so what the possibilities that come from this. It's like inspiring a lot of women as well to just say, like, your story is so special and so unique that if you take the commitment to heal from whatever it is that you need to heal in your life journey, you can be beneficial to so many. You can make a living out of it, because I live with this. Mm-hmm. I quit my normal job 9 to 7 as a waitress that I hated. And now I'm living the life of my dream by being who I am. Like, how inspiring is that? How powerful it is. We can do that. We have the power, but you need to have that willingness to just go there, because it's not roses and flowers all the time. Mm-hmm. Healing is uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. It means you have to go where you don't want to go. But that's where you find your power. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say anymore. But maybe I want to share this as well. I saw your Instagram account as well and was inspired, and I just said that I wanted to throw a party when I had my first blood after giving birth, and I did that. What you just said, I wasn't ready to paint with it. I collected it, I put it into the fridge, and every time I saw it there, I was like, oh yuck! Oh, I don't know if I really want to do this, but something inside of me told me that I should keep this blood, and that there will be the right time.
Beautiful.
And then I painted, and I didn't feel like I wasn't ready to just leave it just blood. So I mixed it with red color. So that's maybe a way to start as well.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. I will take notes of it, because there's so many people. I'm just full on, like, you can pay with your period, but you can drink it, you can do all the things that are like,
oh my God, you can drink it. Yeah, of course. There are women who is a placenta in English? Would you say that thing that's connected to the baby, placenta? Yes. There are women who eat the placenta after giving birth. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You did that. Did you eat it raw?
I didn't eat it raw. I made my my doula make some pills out of it, the dried pills. But the next round, when I will have my second, I really want to do the raw. I really want to cut it up. You can cut it up, put it in your smoothies. You can put it inside different recipes. Like, it doesn't actually taste that bad, as many people say. Again,
I think it tastes like nothing, actually. Yes, and if something is now completely out of everything, and now right before clicking away, it's actually a thing that that every mammal is actually doing.
Yes.
Every mammal is eating the placenta after giving birth, because it's full of vitamins, it's full of everything, it's full of energy, it's full of all the energy you just gave away for giving birth and for pregnancy.
Absolutely, 100%. Actually, it's proven, like, it's literally proven that it has so many different chemicals, vitamins, minerals, all the things that we need to replenish ourselves. And actually, they've done some quite few studies, because of course it's too mainstream, it's too out there. Mm-hmm. But it's proven that so many women are able to recuperate faster when they eat their placenta, and they can actually avoid the postpartum depression, because it's full of packed nutrients that are really helping the mother to restore herself.
It even helps immediately. When you have the pills, or I dried it and just put something under my tongue. Every time I felt like crying, and it happened immediately. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. So nourishing for the soul to have these conversations.
So there's much more stuff you do for women to heal, to connect with their bodies, with their sexuality. You can also buy yoni eggs in your shop. You have a shop. Yoni eggs, but also everything made out of crystals that you can put into your vagina.
Of course. There's certain type of crystals that are considered to be body safe.
Okay.
They are worked and carved and polished in such a way that they're absolutely body safe. And I can't think of working with anything other than crystal inside of my precious womb space, because again, crystals are made from earth and our connection with earth is undeniable. So you can feel the difference when women usually use normal dildos, okay, and then they come to crystals and they said, I ditched my dildo, my old dildo, I just threw it away, I will never go back. Right? Crystals are my life, and it's so powerful to work with a crystal. And I have both yoni eggs and yoni wands, which they both aid in supporting the healing, the elasticity, and the strength of the pelvic floor organ, of the vagina, of the reproductive health of a woman, for blood flow, more oxygen, for just like maintaining a healthy status inside of your vagina. So these tools are absolutely remarkable, and they helped me immensely in my own journey. And it's so beautiful to see how much it really helps women in their journey as well.
And also in having more fun. It's not just that, it's not just other things you just said, but also to learn to have fun with yourself. I think that's important too.
Yes, it's so important. You're so right. I'm very much focused on the therapeutic aspect of it, because there's such an epidemic in these times. Like when I work with so many women, they always come for the same reasons. Like they're mostly unhealthy. They're mostly looking for just coming to a state of wellness, of well-being, of eating well, treating themselves well. Like sensuality brings you both to pleasure and it's healing at the same time. When you do these practices and you come in touch with your yoni at a deeper level, you will heal yourself. And of course, you will also have that aspect of pleasure, which is a consequence. Okay, so I didn't even talk about the playfulness as much, because you will feel it completely. You will feel it because it's your nature. It's our nature to be playful. It's our nature to explore. It's our nature that pleasure is our way of sharing our wisdom in the world. It's an offering. It's a blessing. It's a prayer for the earth. When we are in pleasure, we're offering to the world. And it's so healing, so beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for this conversation. Thank you so much for being here, for opening the space. I opened the space, but you made it full. You filled it with your wisdom, with your being. Thank you so much for being here.
It's been a pleasure, Vanessa. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much.